Hi, I'm Sherry Tree, founder and CEO of B.A.N.K, and I want to share something with you that not a lot of people get to hear. And so I thought I'd bring my message to you personally. You know, I'm credited with inventing something pretty amazing called B.A.N.K. B.A.N.K is designed to increase sales up to 300%, and because it works so fantastically, it's spread virally all over the world. Today, we're in more than 40 different countries. I got to speak at Harvard University, the University of California, Berkeley. San Francisco State University published a white paper proving our methodology could predict buying behavior in less than 90 seconds. You're witnessing history in the making. In 2014, I was nominated as Entrepreneur of the Year, and again in 2016, I was nominated as Women Business Owner of the Year and Innovator of the Year. This is a pretty humbling experience to be behind the helm of something that I believe has the power to impact and change the entire world. But there's a story behind the story, and sometimes that's the story that never gets told, and that's why I want to share it with you today. When I started using the B.A.N.K methodology and experiencing such fantastic results, I couldn't keep it a secret any longer. I started training every sales team member that was a part of my whole network. I wanted everyone to experience the benefits that I was experiencing. And it got to the place where I was limited in my ability to train other people. You see, if B.A.N.K is really that big of a game changer, the world deserved to know about it. And so I was faced with a decision as an entrepreneur. I chose to resign from the company that I was working for, and I chose to start my own training company. And the reason I did that was because I wanted more people to have access to this incredible program than just the people I was working with. There were people all over the world that needed these benefits. I chose my fate on 8/8/8, and that's the day I resigned, August 8th, 2008, because I wanted to bring my vision, my mission to the world. I wanted to make a difference, not just a dollar. As a result, I walked away from nearly $2 million a year, and my income went to zero overnight. With an entrepreneur spirit, I thought that I could climb back up that mountain. The challenge is, simultaneously in 2008, it was the collapse of the entire American economy. Now, maybe people forecasted it coming. I just didn't expect it to crumble my life apart as well. I had about $8 million in real estate holdings at the time, and they all became worth nothing practically overnight. My cash flow situation went to a negative $60,000, and in the blink of an eye, I was broke. Everything that I'd been accumulating my entire life, financially trying to be responsible, dissolved right in front of my eyes. I'll never forget the moment when all of my stuff, everything I had left, was put into 5 different storage units. And the storage unit company called me and said, "Sherry, your stuff's about to go to auction if we don't receive a payment." Now, because my whole financial life crumbled and I had no income, I was forced with the inevitable to file Chapter 7 bankruptcy. And again, in a moment, everything I had was gone. I had no credit. I had to give back my homes. I had to give back my cars. My one car that I had left, a tow truck company was trying to come find me in the middle of the night just to take back that one last thing. I couldn't handle the stress of it anymore, so I just went and turned it in. I literally had nothing left to my name. Now, being resourceful as an entrepreneur, I decided, rather than having my stuff go up to auction because I didn't want to lose the last thing that I had, my stuff, I went and found an industrial-sized storage unit in Newport Beach, California. Had about 1,600 square feet. It was the size, a huge warehouse, roll-up door and everything, and I could put all of my life's belongings in this storage unit. Interestingly, at the back of the storage unit was a tiny little set of wooden steps that went up to a little loft, maybe 100 or 200 square feet. And on that little loft, I had an idea. What if I could actually move in and sleep here and make this my home? This would allow me to be able to save all of my money so that I could invest back into my company. You see, at the same time, I was asked by a company that was having a sales event and a launch of a company program. They asked me to come and be a keynote speaker. Now, they didn't pay me. They asked me to do it for free. And I wasn't allowed to sell anything. But at the time, with my new little training company, I needed any break that I could get. At the end of me training their entire sales force about bank, everyone went into a standing ovation and everyone wanted to buy the program, but I didn't have anything for sale. I'd never developed it into a product at that point. As I left the stage, a gentleman chased me out there and said, "Sherry, that's one of the most fantastic sales training programs I've ever seen. I want to manufacture your product as long as you're willing to pay for it." Well, this was a great win, except that I didn't have the money anymore and I didn't have the credit to do it either. So as I looked at that storage unit with that tiny little loft, of course I had the idea. If I moved in there, I could save enough money over time to pay for the first manufacturing run of B.A.N.K. Now, the storage unit is an interesting story all by itself. It was a huge warehouse. It had all of those fluorescent lights, but it didn't have any running water. Luckily, as part of my background, I'm a trained whitewater rafting guide and took a course on wilderness survival. So I went down to the camp store and I bought a 5-gallon bucket called a Luggabaloo. That 5-gallon bucket came with a toilet seat, and I made that my bathroom for 18 months. I went and bought a membership at the gym so that I could shower, and I rebuilt my entire life from that place. Now, my best friend at the time who came to help me through this whole process, who's also the co-founder of the company, Jenny Lutkemeyer, was my roommate. I asked her to move in with me because it was a little kind of scary and creepy. And we camped out for that 18-month period while we basically innovated and built the foundation of a company that's now over the world. I'll never forget the moments as I was recording the first soundtracks of B.A.N.K. It wasn't in a beautiful studio, soundproof with boom microphones like I am now. Instead, here it was in a storage unit where the windows were stuck open. We couldn't even shut them. During the winter time, we nearly froze to death, and we went to Costco and got a little portable heater, and we'd huddle down by the bottom of it just to stay warm. And I always prayed that it would not catch on fire because that would have been the end. No escape route in that storage unit, right? So when you sit here and say, you know, what's possible? The best thing that ever happened to me was losing everything. Living in that storage unit for 18 months, what it did for me was I lost my attachment to money. Here I'd made millions and millions of dollars. I lost my attachment to money and I grew my attachment to people and purpose. My heart got 3 times as big. I fell in love with people, and I fell in love with why I'm here on this earth. I'm here to make a difference far more than making a dollar. B.A.N.K. has completely changed my heart from the inside out. It's not greed and success that's driving me. It's seeing the lives of every single person who gets in contact with this incredible message change in the blink of an eye. Sure, at first, that first impression is we can help salespeople make more money. We can help them close more sales, but think about what that does for a human being. Think about the stress that comes into someone's life when they can't pay their bills. I've watched marriages get destroyed right in front of my eyes because money, money, money is the conversation, and people get so stressed out. They want to quit their jobs, they want to be entrepreneurs, but 9 out of 10 businesses are failing. They want to join network marketing and have a shot at creating some form of financial freedom, yet 98% out of 100 make less than $500 a year. That is a crying shame, and we have a system that can change those odds. You see, when you look at success rates out there, we live in one of the greatest countries in the world. Yet 95% of our own country at retirement is flat busted broke. You want to know the statistics? It's like 54% are dependent upon the government, church, and family. 36% are still working. Not exactly the retirement plan that you're planning on. 5% are dead. 4% are financially independent. This means that they're living on approximately $3,000 or $3,500 a month. Not exactly the dream retirement that you planned on, right? When you add all of those numbers up, you come up with 99%. 99% of our country is on track for financial disaster. And that only leaves 1%, what we call the wealthy 1%, with a net worth of more than $5 million. Listen, I've already asked you right now, How you doing towards that $5 million goal? You only have a 1% statistic to say I'm on track. Everyone else around you is not. So where my heart comes into this whole story is if I can come out there and make a difference, if I can get access to every salesperson in the world, every business owner, every entrepreneur who has the courage to start something, to walk away for something, to do something, to build something for their family, for themselves. Self-esteem comes when you win, not when you lose. The world is set up to make you fail. What if there's a company out there? What if there's a visionary out there? What if there's a missionary out there? Someone who cares about making a difference. Our bank methodology can not only transform the face of your business, but it can revolutionize your relationships. It can completely rebuild your self-esteem, and it can put you on track to living a life that most people dream about. And I'm not just talking about the money. What if you had the secrets, the science, and the system to not only impact your finances, but to actually go out and change the world? What if you could use this very science to build bridges with the most amazing relationships in the world, starting with understanding yourself, your spouse, your children, and everyone around you that you care about? You see, bank is changing families, and families are changing communities. And if we change enough communities, we can change humanity. Our campaign as a company is one world, one language. We live on a planet with 7 billion people. More than 6,500 different languages are spoken, and there's only one language that reunites the entire human race, and that is B.A.N.K, the language of people. A few years ago, one of my good friends came up to me and said, "Sherry, I think B.A.N.K is going to be winning a Nobel Peace Prize one day." The first time I heard that, I wasn't worthy to even accept that type of accolades or acknowledgement. He said, "Think about it. I come from Israel, a company torn in war. I have friends that are a part of the United Nations, and the only reason that countries go to war is because country leaders don't know how to communicate with each other. Whether it's the war of the world or the war inside your home, we have a solution that can bring peace to you and every community around the world. And that is when you learn how to speak the language of people." You want to know what Sherry Tree is really about? I don't care at all about the money. Sure, they say money doesn't buy you happiness, and I'll usually reply, well, I recommend you try making it for at least 1 year, right? There's a lot of great things that you can do with money, but the best and most important thing that you can do with money is you can actually go out and make a difference. Your life becomes not about you anymore. It becomes about the people whose lives you can touch and transform forever. I believe in what I learned in the movie Pay It Forward. The movie asked a question. Think of an idea that can change the world and put it into motion. My friend, thank you for allowing me to share my one idea, a program called B.A.N.K, on track to change the world, starting with your world. I'm Sherry Tree, founder and CEO of B.A.N.K, and you can take that to the bank.